Hey guys, welcome to the Big Blue United podcast. My name is TJ. I'm here with Dan and Colin. What's up tonight, guys? How y'all feeling?
Feeling good, feeling great. How about you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
I'm in
Dan?
shambles, dude.
Shambles?
What's the matter, Dan? What's the matter?
This Chris Rock, Will Smith thing, man. Just messing with my noodle.
Well,
You got slapped. The 5 fingers.
yeah. I was gonna make a slap joke, and then you just
You
jumped
can make
right
a slap
in.
joke. There's plenty of room.
Well, that show slapped.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's it.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I know Colin watched it live, and then we saw the video, and yeah, I'm just like, I know I said this before we started recording, but if Will Smith had not done anything, then there wouldn't be just any number of offensive memes about him and his wife all over the internet and
Yeah.
everyone talking about it. If he had just sat down and not said anything, no one would have cared. Or, how many G.I. Jane memes did you see today? It was a lot for me.
Too many.
Yeah. Not exciting. As usual, guys, follow Big Blue United on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow BBU Pod Boys with a Z on Twitter. Pigskin Podcast Network at the Pigskin Pod Net. And our sponsor this week is Biosteel. So Biosteel sent us a case of the premix stuff and then some powder that you mix yourself at home. I'm drinking some right now. It's delicious.
Look at that.
Keeps me hydrated. I have a different sort of angle about Biosteel for me because, I work at a bar, right? So I do tend to maybe overindulge in the adult beverages from time to time.
You're a high performance drinker.
Exactly. And I need a high performance hydration to help me out with that. And I have to say, I know this is not what the product is intended for, but I can't speak to working out because I don't do it really. So if you need to hydrate before you're going to bed for any reason or in the morning, this stuff is like great. It really helps your hangover. It's amazing.
Yeah. And I'll add my angle to this, which is also unconventional. As a father of 2, which I say all the time here, my 7-month-old got a fever, and I immediately got violently ill afterwards. And I chugged Biosteel through the whole thing, and it actually really helped me get back on my feet. So another reason to hydrate with that Biosteel. I use my peach mango powder, and it was quite delicious, especially when you're trying to get a lot of fluids in you. So when you're hungover or violently ill, it's good. I don't know, Colin, how do you like to use your Biosteel?
Well, I have to jump on the avoiding hangover train. This past weekend, as you both know, a couple weekends a year, a bunch of friends and I, we go paintballing in Pennsylvania. Amazing time. The partying is great too. That goes along with the actual gameplay. But I brought 4 of the Biosteel drinks, and there was only 4 of us this weekend, and I made everyone drink one before going to bed on Friday
night. Let me
guess,
it made a force field around you, and the paintballs ricocheted off your Biosteel vortex.
Honestly, everybody woke up and individually said on their own, I can't believe that I don't have a headache right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went out and this is a true story. We went out and had a wonderful day, and it was like the weather was awful and it snowed, but everyone felt great. And I actually can thank Biosteel for it. They were ranting and raving about it the rest of the weekend, so they saved us.
I mean,
that's high praise.
Paintballing is a physical activity. I know when I went with you on your birthday, I got hurt and tired the whole time. I would have thought some Biosteel would have been great for that. Just in general. Yeah. Definitely a rigorous activity when you're not, someone who's moving around a lot.
Yeah. It was great. And, it's funny, like all these weekends, like we were never really smart about it in the past, but now, like, getting older, you actually have to think about things like this. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. So this just helped, and I'm very thankful for it. And that was actually, the idea was from you. So I brought it. And
I have 1 or 2 good ideas every now and again.
Yeah.
So you guys check out Biosteel, biosteel.com. Drink the pink.
Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go.
I'm going to definitely drink Biosteel once I start working out again when the weather gets nice. I'll put it to the test.
I finished the case like in almost immediately.
Oh man.
I'm doing the powder now. It's delicious.
Yeah. I got the protein powder too that I'm going to start using for post workouts.
Ooh. Oh, interesting.
You bulking? So bulking for the beach this summer?
Well, no, it's just like recovery stuff. When I was doing some training a couple of months ago, I just noticed that like my shoulders were just getting shot, and I just felt like some protein would have helped that. So I wish I had it then, but I'll report back on how it works in the future.
Yeah, maybe we'll have him back one of these weeks.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You guys want to talk about the Giants?
Yeah, they're making some moves. It's been an interesting kind of couple of weeks here, kind of sneaking up on us.
Yeah. Do you want to start talking about the couple free agents we signed, or do you want to get into this John Mara presser, which I think is a pretty interesting one to talk about?
Lead with that.
Yeah, let's go. So John Mara had a few things to say at his presser about Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Brian Flores, James Bradbury even. I just think it was interesting when he's talking about Jones, or just in general, kind of. It's like he thought he was kind of saying the right things, but it doesn't sound like he actually believes himself when he's saying that, oh, well, this or that, and we want to, Daniel Jones hasn't had the opportunity. We want to re-sign Daniel Jones, but Shannon Dable, that's their decision. I don't know. That's up to the football guys. Do you actually believe when he says, is it up to the football guys? Or is this sort of just like John throwing up that smokescreen because he knows this is what the fans want to hear?
Dude, he's not throwing up a smokescreen. He
again, not even, right? Yeah.
Out of touch. If he was in the loop with Dable and Shane, he would not be talking about it one way or the other, first off. And secondly, like he was talking about how like the league is beginning to realize that quarterback is the most valuable position on the
great quote.
Maybe you're beginning to realize that, John. I think since the dawn of football, we've realized that quarterback is the most valuable. It's just like, I don't know. You got nothing to say. Don't just spew hot air. I mean, I guess it's your team and you do whatever you want, but you're not impressing anybody, and you're not showing that you've learned anything or have anything of value to add to the conversation right now. It is just a bunch of hot air.
He regurgitates the same things that he said about Eli for 14 years. And he's just thinking that if he says it enough into the ether now,
yeah, he's manifesting.
He'll manifest into the universe Daniel Jones being a serviceable winning quarterback. Or you know what? Maybe he's shrewd in the fact that, or not shrewd is the right word, but like smart enough to just think that, all right, I have to get in front of the media. I got to say something. Let me say some vanilla, usual, typical John Mara stuff just to get my assignment done, and then let it be. Maybe he's just like the face taking it and it doesn't care what he's saying at all, as long as the guys who are actually in charge of building a team put it together.
It just bothers me to a degree because, if we want to go back to when Gettleman was GM and he was just tipping his hand all the time, telling people what he was going to do. So just don't come out here and say anything about any decision-making process involved with this team right now. I don't want anyone to know what the plans are of Shannon Dable. And then if you want to come back and go, oh, well, it's not my decision. Well, you own the team. So you are the figurehead. You're right, Colin. He is out there, saying these things for a reason. When you go and say about Saquon Barkley that we're not shopping him, but that's not my decision. Well, what if a team, was gonna pull the trigger? I mean, I don't know. You need that cap space. It's up. It should, you want to say these things, but I just don't believe him. Just the track record is too strong.
I'd love to believe that it's like some double move kind of thing where
no
he's
way.
I know. But the reason that I hold out hope that it's a possibility that with this new regime coming in, maybe they actually bring in some smart PR people that actually tell him what to do in these kind of situations. Probably not, but I'd like to believe that it's possible. Maybe it doesn't matter.
I don't think billionaires want to listen to anybody. I think that's really the problem.
Fair.
Especially ones who are, born into this money.
Yeah.
Blowing a lot of hot air, I feel.
Yeah.
And then another thing we have to bring up is the Brian Flores thing, because he addressed that here. So to recap, Brian Flores is suing the NFL for his apparent and alleged being mistreated or, I don't know how to say it exactly right. Discriminated against. Thank you, Dan. In terms of being hired as a head coach in the NFL. So basically all Mara did was say that he was confident in the Giants hiring process, and that I find this hard to believe that it's probably disingenuous that nobody in the Giants organization speaks to Bill Belichick, which, I guess there's not really anything else you're going to say in this situation, because why incriminate yourself or put evidence out there that is not necessary? Yeah. Just deny.
Actually, that is a bad thing to say, because in all likelihood, someone did speak to Bill Belichick because they're part of one of the 32 teams in the league. And by saying that they didn't, discredits you.
Sure.
So he doesn't know that. And that's just a stupid thing to say. I think saying that, they're confident in their hiring practices is totally fine and what you should say. But other than that, like, no comment really. Like, this is an ongoing pending litigation, just pending trading certain players, making roster moves, pending, huge lawsuits on the team. Just like, have some discretion. No one, you don't need to say anything, dude. Like, you hardly say anything most of the time. Why are we saying, just trying to put words into the ether right now?
It ties back in with what we were just saying, how he's just running his mouth for no reason about.
You know what? It reminds me of
team.
a Kanye West song, guys, right?
God.
Kanye West.
Oh my
Can't
God.
tell me nothing.
We did one episode talking about Kanye.
Right? I mean, it's
Wait
relevant.
till I
Yeah, I
get
know.
my
Yeah,
money
We all know
right.
this song.
Yeah. That's what John Mara probably listens to in the morning.
Is that like 5 episodes in a row?
No, we skipped one. We skipped one. But we
No,
did
we
4 of the last 5 episodes have mentioned Kanye.
Gonna keep it going, baby.
I guess.
I don't want to talk about Kanye.
Yeah,
I feel
I don't
like I don't want
either.
to talk about him at all.
Oh,
You don't really
The
have
only
a
person who wants
choice.
to talk about Kanye is Pete Davidson, I think.
yeah.
Have a choice. It is thrown in your face a lot. I mean, if you go on social media, there's going to
Yeah.
be some stuff in there. But anyway, jumping back into this, it's hard to speculate, but I will mention also that there are apparently 2 more coaches being added to the class action, and there will be 2 more teams named that are not the original 3 of the Giants, the Broncos, and the Dolphins, obviously.
Yeah.
Who fired him? All right. Mara also mentioned James Bradbury, that they wanted to hang on to him, but obviously the cap situation, that becomes an issue. So I just want to touch on this. I know it's like a lot of speculation, but apparently I've been reading that he is going to be moved and potentially to Texans, Colts, Chiefs. I haven't seen what the compensation might be like, but that the Giants are very interested in Sauce Gardner. Do you guys put any truth behind this or just talk?
I want to talk about speculation.
Did I say speculation?
A bit.
Speculation.
That sounds like a special kind of like TV that came out in 1957.
Speculation
from
I like it.
I'll say before
Yeah.
Colin, you get into the speculation, but
Yeah.
just again, Mara saying that we basically have to get rid of Bradbury. Something has to be done immediately. Doesn't help our negotiations.
No.
Whether or not we have 3 teams bidding against him, which is a good thing. Again, shut up, old man.
I somehow picture him in a Chiefs uniform very easily. I don't
Do you
know
have a
why.
number in your head?
Jersey number? What, he's 24 now? 21.
Tasty.
I don't know if anyone's 21 on that team already, but I feel like someone's 24. So he'd be the kind of guy to be like, oh, I don't care what number it is as long as it's in the 20s. Just go for it.
Okay.
What's the new rule? Can a cornerback be? Does it still have to be the 20s?
You can be in the 20s. You can also be number 5. You can be.
Oh, okay. You should just pick Tyreek Hill's old number then.
I don't know if the teens are part of that though. Speaking of numbers,
Rashad Breeland is number 21 on the Chiefs. Sorry to burst your bubble.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I feel like he would go to the Chiefs, especially because the Chiefs
Clemson
have been losing bleeding players at an alarming rate over the last couple of weeks. So I feel like they're trying to, stock their. I mean, they got Juju, which is, they lost all their wide receivers. So, and speaking of which,
Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah, him too. Which it's like, what's happening in Green Bay? But
when I saw that, I was like, oh, we definitely said he was on the Packers last week. But
yeah,
I can't keep track of every 4th string wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, I know.
Chiefs would be cool. I'm sure that's where he wants to go.
Yeah.
And they obviously have a ton of draft picks. We'll talk about the Tyreek Hill trade later, but they have a ton of capital in it. And, I think everybody needs cornerbacks. Do you guys think the Giants are interested in Sauce Gardner? Or is that?
I do.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be, right? Would you be mad if he went at 5 or mad at 7 or?
I wouldn't be mad because it's an area of need.
Yeah.
But ideally, I still believe that the draft has a lot of quality in those like day two picks and like later, so we need more shots. So if we can pick up an extra second round pick or third round pick by trading back in the first round, I'm more for that. But he is considered the premium cornerback, him and Stingley,
Yeah.
I guess. But I guess Sauce fits the Martindale defense a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be upset if we walk out of there with an edge rusher or a tackle and Sauce. Like, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Not at all.
Yeah, I'd be. I think a couple of months ago I'd be upset with that, but I've kind of just reading up on him and actually seeing some highlights and stuff like that, and just seeing his stats. Like, okay, yeah, that's an okay pick right there. Especially because I mean, all these guys coming out of the draft too. Yeah, you give them these big contracts, but it's draft rookie deals. You don't have to worry about it for a couple of years.
Cornerback is an expensive position. So getting a starting cornerback in the draft is a great thing to do.
Yep.
And then you have, at least 4 years of a decent money in the fifth year. That's reasonable.
Yep.
And also I've been reading that the Jets are really high on him too. So it kind of goes both ways for me. If the Jets end up picking him and then that leaves one of the two tackles up on the board at number 5, I think the Giants are really happy in that position either way.
Absolutely.
So you can't really get down on any of that. Right. College basketball fans, join the action on the court during the biggest tournament of the year with DraftKings Sportsbook. Turn your team's victory into your own big win. New customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. It's that simple. If they win, you win. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still join the college hoops action with DraftKings pools. Everyone can play free pools all March long for a shot at a share of over $250,000 in prizes. Simply join a pool and answer questions like, who will make it to the next round, or who will hit the most three-pointers, then track your results. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code TPPN. Bet $5 on any college hoops team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. If they win, you win with promo code TPPN this week at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 plus, restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Love that.
It seems shorter this time.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same one, but it's cool. I mean, you guys watching? I know we talked about this last week, but I was sad to see St. Peter's lose.
Yeah, but I was overjoyed to see them beat Purdue.
Yeah,
that was incredible.
That was a great game. Everyone at the bar was just eyes glued to the TV, and everyone's just clapped after the game was over.
Yeah,
it's the furthest thing from a sports bar, So funny.
Yeah, it's true.
You think? I mean, I love that the head coach is amazing. He's got a lot of attitude and just he's got a presence. I liked all those interviews that he had. Do you think that like they could be decent again next year? I feel like this was a big recruiting platform for them.
I think that's all it takes, man. If you can make it in the tourney, I think people want to play for you. But obviously, they're not going to have the facilities and the, know. I mean, you like the head coach, but he's not, Mike.
He's also going to get another job.
So. Absolutely,
good point, Dan. Yeah. It's an interesting one. You know that North Carolina and Duke never played each other in the tourney.
That's wild. I can't believe that.
Crazy?
I saw that too. Yeah.
How does that work?
I don't know, man. It's just the seeding and the way it goes. But it's like how many times have those teams played each other in the regular season? This is the first time.
Million.
Yeah. I feel like this is like a Mike Krzyzewski is playing Mortal Kombat, and he's on like Goro now.
Yeah,
he's got to get to the end.
Who is the boss in original Mortal Kombat? Like
Shang Tsung.
Yeah, he morph into anyone.
Yeah. The programmers were too lazy to make up a new skill set that you couldn't play, so just put all the
generic looking dude and just
smart.
I miss old video games.
I remember going to the arcade and coming across this guy that could really play as Shang Tsung, and he could just be anyone at any time. He would just destroy everyone. He was on the console for hours.
Where was this? What arcade was this?
At a Cross County Indoor Mall in Yonkers.
Nice.
There's a pizzeria in there, and they had Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat on either side of the entryway. I remember kids used to line their quarters up on the monitor screen, and I was like a little kid. I used to get hustled every single time. But yeah,
like you're playing pool to show your necks to get your quarters out.
Yeah.
You literally put them up on the screen. Yeah.
No, it's really funny. I never saw that in the arcade when I was a kid.
Yeah, that was the best.
I remember what was the one in Danbury? Big warehouse in there with all an arcade and all that stuff. And I remember when Mortal Kombat 2 came out, we made our dad drive us there. And he didn't give a crap, but it was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
We went. It was cool. I had a
What
good
was
time.
that
I
place?
got to play as Reptile. I was all into playing as Reptile. I remember at the time.
Hmm.
Reptiles.
That was more
Reptile didn't say anything, right? It was just Scorpion.
I don't remember, to be honest.
No, he didn't, because he was an actual reptile. He couldn't really speak.
Yeah.
That's I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, you
there's a
took
lot of
his
people-
mask off, he was like a lizard man.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
politicians that are lizards and they talk.
Nice. That's a hard hitting comedy right there.
Yeah.
God. All right. Free agents, re-signings. Who we got? Max Garcia, interior lineman. Sandro Platzgummer is back.
Love it.
This is a fun one. Richie James, kick returner from the 49ers, and Justin Ellis, who was strangely played for the Baltimore Ravens. It's a shocking one to me.
And he's named Jelly.
Jelly. Oh, that's right. I saw Jelly. It's a good
Yeah,
nickname.
that's major
Yeah.
major pluses right there. With
I
that
love
nickname.
that.
Yeah, huge for me. I really need him on this team.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, maybe we just start with Garcia. I think it's just kind of going with the trend that we've seen kind of all offseason. It's just, this is the sixth offensive lineman signed or re-signed. Someone who's low priced, experienced. Let's see.
With starting
Yeah,
experience.
He's had 52 starts in his NFL career, 11 last year with the Cardinals, mostly at left guard. Funny enough, he was ranked 66 amongst guards on PFF, 4 sacks, 17 pressures. Will Hernandez ranked 60th, who just signed with the Cardinals. So they basically switched jobs, but I wouldn't think that he necessarily will be a starter.
I hope not.
But if we look at the line just right now, you got Andrew Thomas, Shane Lemieux, and then Feliciano probably competing with Garcia for center. Glowinski, and then right tackle, who knows? But I think center is kind of the one position that seems a little shaky. That if they do end up drafting a tackle to play right tackle. I mean, I think you have to go find a center in the later rounds. You guys, how many draft picks are the Giants going to use to address offensive line, you think?
I hope at least
If
3.
you had to guess, 3?
Yeah, I
At
think
least.
3 is solid.
There's so much, I think, potential starter depth in the second, third, fourth, fifth rounds. There's interesting guys at interesting sizes. I think there's a couple guard / center tweeners that you can get in the third or fourth round, and a couple of really interesting tackle prospects. Just big athletic guys, also in that same region. So depending on how you want to attack it, what you get in the first round, you could throw a lot of the resources at these other guys that might not be, on paper starters or stars immediately, but guys that have a lot of tools that on an offensive line as depleted as ours could likely get a lot of action or a shot to start.
Who
as a rookie?
I can't, even though we've done 1,000 mock drafts, I can't remember his name right now. Who's the Notre Dame center that's coming out? That's like in the 4th, 5th round ish.
It's like Patterson or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like that would be an ideal kind of situation. Speaking of like the later round, but like, could be a starter.
He sort of dropped off the map, I feel like, since
the pro day and all that.
Since pro days.
Jared Patterson is who he's
Jared
Yeah.
Patterson, yeah.
Whatever happened to Lindeblom? I feel like he's really fallen too, but we all wanted him. Like,
He'll still be in the first round.
People are coming down to earth, like actually talking about centers and realizing that they never get drafted within the first 15 picks.
I wonder who the highest drafted center of all time was.
That's an interesting question.
I wonder if
What's
I can
his
look it
name?
up. Alex
sure you
Mack,
could.
maybe?
Oh,
That's what I was going to say.
uh,
But he might have been a center guard.
was it Jeff Fain?
Oh.
Or AKA Jack Alien
He had a
Face
good-
for
he had a good-
those Oneonta people listening?
Oh, yeah, Nick Mangold. That's right. They picked Shaw Ferguson, Nick Mangold, but then Ryan Khalil and Alex Mack were the second two. But yeah, that was the best
good
draft the Jets ever had. Yeah.
I mean,
they had those
cornerstones for offensive line forever.
Yeah, right.
For like 10 years at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was a great.
I'd sign up for that.
great player. Round 1, pick 29. That was a steal almost. You could say.
Huh.
And I mean, DeBrickashaw Ferguson. What a fantastic name.
The Brickashaw.
I don't want to do like a Key and Peele sketch here, but
No, it was like one of my favorite NFL names of all time.
yeah, I mean, we were doing the funny name thing way before that show ever came out.
Yeah.
Should probably, sue, or is it too late?
Now I'm Murtaugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We did Lethal Weapon 5 as well.
Which is so screwed up.
If only we were funnier, could have
Yeah.
made some money off of all
And
this.
smarter and
Yeah.
more organized.
I want to go to Platt Scummer because I know Colin is just a huge Platt Scummer guy. He had that one play against the Jets in the preseason, and everyone loved him. So, but I do want to ask you, because we did mention last week that the running back room is pretty, bereft of, players at a third running back position. Do you guys think he could beat out Brightwell, or is he just a camp body, going to get caught, thrown in the practice squad?
I mean, I'm surprised they re-signed him, frankly. So I feel like he does have a shot just for the fact that they had the faith in actually re-signing him. I figured, he's one of those international pathway guys that, here's your little bit of shine, and then you'll run 48 yards in a preseason game, and that's going to be it. You're going to go back to Austria and do whatever that you're going to do. But he's back. I feel like I don't know. I feel like that whole program is really interesting, and I'm glad they have it because, as you know, in terms of sports of the world, American football doesn't really translate very well. And what better way to kind of get people involved than that sort of thing? I mean, just from reading his story, I had no idea how many leagues were actually in Europe. They play football quite a bit, and it's kind of wild. So I hope he sticks. It would be, I mean, he's fast. If he gets on special teams, I feel like he has a chance, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he'll get thrown in there as like a random screen pass kind of guy, and take him off real quick. Gadget.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's funny that you mentioned that because, I think that's the best way to try and build the fan base in foreign countries. Just you have to have national players from those countries playing in the NFL. Like NFL Europe is all well and good, but people like to get behind the national identity. So I think say when Yao Ming came into the NBA, I bet that the NBA blew up in China.
It did.
Of course, it
definitely did.
Yeah, if the NFL wants to get more of a market share in the sports world in Europe, I think that they should expand this program. I think it's a really good idea.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think NFL is the easiest sport if you're a pure athlete to transition into. You see it in the States where guys are playing basketball throughout college, and then senior year they switch to tight end or some wide receiver, quarterback, offensive lineman, and then all of a sudden they're getting drafted. It's a sport where if you have raw athletic ability, that translates much easier than developing the skill to be an international like soccer star or NBA is huge in Europe, but those skills you can't just flip on without a lifetime of practice. If you're fast and strong, you can do something in the NFL.
Which is odd because it's just such a specific sport, and every position has such a different assignment from each other. I think
just
that's
more
why
opportunity.
that works.
Yeah. The teams are bigger, the positions are more distinct and limited, really. That you can, if you have those certain skill set, you can find a spot. I mean, obviously an elite among normal humans skill set, but you can find those people everywhere.
Normal humans?
It's interesting. What's that?
You find the normal humans anywhere? Or the
elite humans. Elite humans.
Oh, elite humans.
Yeah, if you drink your Biosteel, you might become an elite human.
That's it.
I was hoping I was going to find about working out today, but I didn't get any information. But anyway, Richie James, anything to say? I mean, the Giants kind of had a lot of starters, it would seem, returning kicks. So for me, if he's going to jump in there in that position, that's great.
Yeah, cool. we lost John Ross, so here's a fast wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
true.
I mean, I don't think there's a lot to say about these guys, really.
Adoree Jackson was returning kicks, so I mean, I think it's good to keep him off special teams.
And I don't know. I feel like it's good to have a guy that is dedicated to kick returning and punt returning.
I
just
agree
in
with
general.
That. I agree with that
for sure.
Then we mentioned Jelly. I don't know what to say about it. They need bodies on the inside. Cool, good. He's a backup. That's cool.
Yeah, all these signings are like good, fine. Like we can't really do any more, but it still helps to improve the team because we need depth everywhere. So who's to say like whether or not they're going to be contributors on special teams or practice squad or see real position like offensive defense game time. But it's still, I'm glad they're doing something.
I mean, it's just funny to see like how different this approach is than the previous regime has been.
Yeah.
I mean what
as opposed to pure neglect.
Exactly. How do you feel about how they're actually, kind of taking a year to fix this cap problem before they really start to build this roster the way they want to? I mean, if you look at in Buffalo, they built that roster from the ground up, and then once they got to the point where they were happy about that roster, then they made, the luxury trade for Diggs to like bring them to, that next step. And they're in Super Bowl contention and will be for the foreseeable future as long as Josh Allen stays healthy, I would imagine. So, I mean, is it cool for you guys to just see this as opposed to Gettleman? I mean, as a Giants fan, obviously, right?
I mean, I just love the fact that every single deal that they're pumping out onto the Instagram, all of the actual contract details are veteran minimum. And but 52 starts and tons of experience doing this. These are the exact kind of players that needed to be brought in 5 years ago that were never even thought about. It was, who's the next Nate Solder I can throw a whole bunch of money at and just cross my fingers and hope it works out. Like that stuff is out the window now.
Yeah, I think they're doing sort of the best you can do with what they're given with the zero salary cap and all the contracts that are coming to be paid this year. They're being proactive. They're addressing needs, and they're hiring. They're bringing on guys that they know, because when you're paying this little, you might as well go with what you know and what people are capable of. So everyone from the Bills and the Ravens, and coaches' past histories are showing up here. Hopefully they'll be able to contribute a little bit. I don't think you're expecting many of them to be, home runs. I think there's a few home run shots in there with some of the signings, but minimal upside for the most part, and guys that hopefully can contribute in a pinch if we suffer a lot of injuries and certain draft picks don't pan out. But yeah, I'm super happy with it. We already addressed the offensive line to a good extent, unlike last year when we didn't address the offensive line until August, like we said last week.
And they had those guys, a bunch of retires in training camp. They want to run laps. You know what Dave Gettleman is like? He's like, you go to a bachelor party weekend, and he's like your friend that goes to the strip club and spends all his money on the first day. And then like you're there the next day and he's got nothing. So he's got to borrow something for the future.
No, he just goes back to the strip club and thinks the girls will remember him and
yeah, no. And then he falls full bloom in love with someone named Candy and says, "Oh, she's meeting me at this bar afterwards. She's totally going to be there with me waiting." That's Dave
he goes
Gettleman.
to like a payday
naive,
loans place and takes out super high leverage loan and says he'll worry about it later after Candy,
takes the credit card advance at the ATM when he goes gambling.
Yeah, and then leaves it with his family.
That should be illegal, by the way. Why do they let you do that? And it's like only at a casino. I've never seen an ATM other than a casino where you can put your credit card in and get cash out.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I didn't even know that I didn't even know that happened. Goes to show how much I gamble.
You don't. That's how
don't.
much you gamble.
Yeah.
Yep. So guys, little quick NFL quick hits here. Seems to be the new trend here. Tyreek Hill trade's a fun one. So Dolphins traded for Chiefs wide receiver Tyreek Hill. Chiefs get first, second, and fourth in 2022, fourth and sixth in 2023. I read that it clears up $70 million in cap space for the Chiefs. I don't see how that makes any sense, but I couldn't find any other figure there. But the Dolphins then signed him for 4 years, $20 million, highest paid wide receiver in the league. What do you guys think about this?
I think it's I don't know. I can't even wrap my head around it. It's kind of insane. I mean, I guess if the Dolphins end up taking off and actually, getting to their potential that they've shown in the last couple of years, they've been putting together some pieces that are pretty good. I still don't think Tua is the answer there. Maybe he'll figure it out. I don't know. I don't understand. Well, I actually just have to see what the Chiefs do in this draft, because that's going to really define what I think about this situation, because they got a ton of stuff. Was it more in this draft or
3 in this draft, 2 next year? First, second, fourth, 2022. Yeah.
Then actually, I mean, I don't know that. I think the Chiefs are reeling in terms of losing a lot of players. Hopefully that they end up putting these picks into fruition of some instant starters. I mean, that's really it.
Yeah. I think a couple things. I think this is good. it could be viewed as good for both teams in certain respects. I think the Dolphins have a ton of draft capital because of all the stuff, all the draft picks they accumulated, and to get rid of, that was a lot to give up, but they sort of had that amount of draft picks to give up, and now they have probably, if not the fastest, one of the fastest offensives in the NFL. Gives Tua really any kind of weapon he could want, and they can really, it's not like the best thing to give him a situation where he has no excuses, but if he doesn't make it work this year with this talent, then you got to move on from him. And conversely, I think the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes and know he's going to be the best, if not the best, one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL for the next 10 years. Know that they need to change a little bit what they're doing. Maybe they cash out on Tyreek Hill when he's at his absolute pinnacle of value, when those contracts are super high valued.
Yeah.
Cash out on him and sort of find replacements and tweak. Kelsey's also getting older, so you gotta pick and choose here. I think if you look at Andy Reid's offensives historically, like he's always had a lot of contributors in the wide receiver position. I'm like, for some reason I can't get like Jason Avant out of my head, but there's always like he had Deshaun Jackson forever, but Deshaun Jackson was just a speed demon. Like I feel like Andy Reid's offense is smart enough and creative enough to maximize the players that are available. There are a ton of really, maybe not like ace in the Jamar Chase wide receivers in this draft, but a lot of really good high quality receivers that can do interesting things. And I think in an offense like that could do really well if the Chiefs are looking to draft a wide receiver in the 1st or 2nd rounds, or even 3rd rounds. I think it makes the offseason way more interesting, and it makes the Dolphins going to really interesting to watch this year because they're really loaded up, and especially in that Mike McDaniel's offense. I don't know if we talked about it, but it's going to be mirroring the 49ers offense and seeing what Tyreek Hill can do in space. That offense designed to give wide receivers the ability to run after catch, and Tyreek Hill with the ball in an open field is the coolest thing in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the quarterback's just about as good as the 49ers too, so we won't have to change the playbook too much.
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like the Dolphins gave up too much for this. And like you said, for the opposite reason, there are wide receivers in this draft. And the Dolphins had, I think they have Devontae Parker, they have Jalen Waddle, they just invested a draft pick in a wide receiver. I don't know. To me, it just seems like a lot. I think you're giving like another pretty much a team that's super loaded in the AFC that you're going to have to compete against down the line. You just gave them 5 draft picks to make their team better. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a good trade to me. But either way, it'll be fun to watch how it plays out. What else, guys? I saw Detroit's going to be. Oh, Dan, go ahead. You got something else?
Well, I wanted to talk about the that
Webb.
little bit of Davis Webb Giants news.
Absolutely.
Giant stuff.
Sorry, I jumped over that.
No worries. But it came out this week that Sean McDermott had offered to Davis Webb before, when he was trying to decide whether or not to come to New York to be a 3rd string backup quarterback, the opportunity to become the QB coach this year for the Bills and be the guy that's responsible for coaching Josh Adams. And given his options, Josh Allen, excuse me. Josh Allen. And giving those options, he chose to come to the Giants to be a backup quarterback, which I think is really interesting. Like, not only is that interesting to find out about what people think of Davis Webb's character, I think it says more about what Davis Webb and the people in the building think about Brian Daboll and his system and being around him. Kinds of coach. I think that is an indicator that Daboll is really the end all be all of the offense up there. And if you are interested in progressing your career, maybe coaching or on the sort of the cutting edge of, football concepts, Brian Daboll is one of the guys you want to be around. So I thought that was an interesting, topic. I think that's cool that Davis Webb is now a backup quarterback on the Giants, but maybe he'll be our future, quarterback coach when Brian Kafka becomes, the next head coach somewhere, and we shift everyone on up the line of the offensive positions there. But just cool. I just thought it was cool and interesting what it says about our coaching staff.
Yeah,
you mean
I like that.
Kafka's the OC.
Yeah, well, so he's going to be a good OC, then he's going to become a head coach somewhere, and then they have to replenish, move everyone up. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I understand why he didn't take the job, because you're only old enough to play in the NFL for a certain amount of time. So
Yeah.
why would you limit the years you could play if someone's willing to offer you a starting job? You have the rest of
because
your life to coach. You have the rest
there's
of your
not
life.
many better quarterback coach situations you could ask for than being Josh Allen's quarterback coach. You know, like
Sure,
that
but I
is
mean, if you wanted to be an NFL player when you were a kid, I think a lot of people did, and then you finally get to do that, irregardless of the fact that you maybe haven't, your career probably didn't end up the way you wanted it to because you're a backup, you're still playing in the NFL. And I think when I
yeah,
looked at the money, it wasn't much different. But still, if I'm him, I'm going to play until, I'm not able to, and then I'm going to coach. But either way, I
for
love that
sure.
someone who has a potential quarterback coach in the NFL for Josh Allen right now is in our quarterback room every day.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great asset.
Yeah.
And like you said, down the line, maybe he does move up, which would be cool.
And kind of probably it defines the reason why we're going to have 3 quarterbacks in the first place, because in the past that we've gone with 2. Well, maybe he will be sort of like a player coach in this situation.
That's what we did with what's his name, Tanny.
Yeah.
That was his name, right? Like he was just
Yeah.
they're essentially
Alex Tanny.
yeah, they're essentially another coach. So, just want to bring
It
it
is
up.
a really interesting story, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
and Davis Webb was drafted by the Giants, so it's interesting to have him back.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
is that a Jerry Reese pick? I think
Yeah.
it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was McAdoo. Yeah.
Yeah, I know why. Like, I know why he left the team, because he couldn't look at McAdoo's haircut anymore.
Who could?
Oh,
Terrible. Let me see here. The only other thing I want to talk about is really the Bills are building a new stadium in Buffalo. Did you ever think that they would build a new stadium in Buffalo? I figured they would be out with those games in Toronto, but I guess the success has changed that, or what?
yeah.
That fan base is too strong.
That's what.
They-
Yeah, I'm happy for them.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Are they putting
it's
a dome on it?
awful. The whole deal
No.
is awful. Taxpayers' dollars? No. I forget the name of the owners of the main owners of the Bills, but they're like the 8th richest in the league, and they're outright not trying to spend any of their own money to do anything. I hate that. That's like, I don't know, tacky.
It's very un-American.
That's how they all
of you,
do it.
Colin.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like soccer stadiums get paid not as much from taxpayers' dollars. It's like a different wavelength.
We're talking about an American sport. None of that communist sports.
But that's what but it's just so obvious and so typical. It's like, all right, well, yeah, you knew if you want, I'm going to threaten this city. If you want this team to stay here, you'll pay for it. I hate that.
I mean, why would they not do that when they know they could get it?
I know.
They shouldn't be able to get it. You're right. But, this is just reality. Also, isn't the soccer stadiums they build, they're like half the capacity of an
Well,
NFL
yes,
stadium?
but I
Yeah,
mean, like,
small.
I'm in terms of like internationally. I mean, you got places in Europe that could be, 60, 70,000 that sometimes aren't paid by public funds.
Isn't that an interesting thing right there? That in America, the public funds usually get paid, but in Europe they don't, which is probably the opposite for most things.
Yeah.
Europe, the public pays for your health care, but in America, they pay for your football
You
stadium.
pay for your football stadium. On that note, anything else tonight, guys?
Yeah, I thought this was
right.
I realized as I was putting on my lounge wear for tonight that I am wearing the full gray man outfit that has a very strong connection with Dan and the New York Giants.
Explain.
Well, this is you look like you have a look on your face of confusion, Dan. How could you?
Well, no, I know the story.
Have a look at confusion.
I know the story.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I haven't worn the combo of the gray sweatshirt and the sweatpants for a very long time, and I figured, doldrums of the off season. Let's talk about some Giants related things. I wore this throughout, I believe, both runs to the Super Bowl, and one of which we would continuously go to
and in between every season in between the Super Bowls.
Yes, yeah, but I mean, but it's especially poignant of a memory. I believe it was the 2007 season where we were watching all of the playoff games at the Peaches, And, it was, we go outside at halftime and you'd throw the ball at me as hard as you can from 10 feet away while I was wearing this. And I
You're
just
trying to
feel
be
like,
Eli Manning?
It was the white wide receiver drill.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like the Wes Welker tough guy
Stokely,
drill.
Braden Stokely drill. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. So I feel like there's a lot of luck in this outfit, and I'm getting ahead of it in the offseason now. I'm starting to get the good juju out there, and hopefully that this will bring some magic back.
Colin's saying he's getting emotionally vulnerable in March, so we're in for one this season.
Oh man, I can't wait until you love the Giants again, and then get
Me
just
too.
devastated.
No. But the difference between the me of the past and now is I'm allowing myself to put in the work now to ensure that it's possible to have hope again. But I will not lie to myself and think there's false hope until I know there's legitimate foundation. I need foundational hope.
The softness of the
get your
gray
hopes
man
up.
sweatshirt is emblematic of the softening of your hardened exterior, Colin.
You're
Joe
a poet
Shane
and you don't know
Brian
it.
Dable are nestling inside your heart
So
and soul right now.
if for some reason Dable comes out and his go-to game day outfit is just gray top, gray bottom,
Yeah.
that this is the work that I'm putting in now.
That's right. It's
Oh,
important.
we should stop. We got to stop calling him Dayball. By the way, we got to call him Dabes.
I'm not
Dabes.
calling him Dabes.
Why
You
not?
guys can call him Dabes.
But that's what he wants. You
I'm
don't
a
want to give him what he
professional
wants?
guy. I'm a
You're
professional.
professional.
Oh,
Coach Dayball.
yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
even want everyone to call him Dave.
Mr. Coach.
Mr. Coach. That's
Yeah,
what we're going to
Mr.
call him.
Coach Esquire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for listening tonight, guys. Don't forget to follow Big Blue United on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Follow us directly at BBU Pod Boys with a Z on Twitter. Don't forget to download that DraftKings app. Use promo code TPPN. Check out Biosteel.com. If you like to work out, it's good for hydrating and for other stuff too. Thank you for listening, guys. Have a good night.
Buy
See ya.
sweatpants.
Bye, sweatpants.